Mimicry of voice. The mimicry is what makes your spine fold in on itself like wet paper. Skinwalkers don't just imitate sound, they inhabit it. You're in the woods and you hear your brother call your name. It's his pitch, his cadence, even the little break in his voice he gets when he's cold. Except your brother's 200 miles away, asleep, and hasn't spoken to you all day. It's not a recording. It's not close enough to pass in the dark. It's perfect. But only for a moment. They always slip because they're not trying to be someone. They're trying to get you to come closer. The laugh is too long. The words are spaced wrong. The tone dips in a way that makes your stomach recoil before your brain can catch up. The truly vile part is they choose whose voice to steal. Loved ones, friends, your dog whining from outside the tent. Sometimes it's someone who's been dead for years. And your brain short circuits because you want it to be real so badly that you ignore the wrongness. And here's the nightmare fuel. They can learn. Hear a voice once, tuck it away forever, which means the second you answer back, the second you confirm your tone, your rhythm, your breathing, you've given them another key to the lock that is you. And the next time you hear yourself calling from the tree line, you'll understand the trap you built with your own mouth. Imitation of appearance. You think it would be clumsy, like a cheap mask or a Halloween store costume. You think you'd spot the seams. But Skinwalker imitation isn't about the details being perfect. It's about the essence being wrong in ways your instincts can't ignore. They copy the height, the hair, the gait. They copy the way someone tilts their head when they listen. But the skin doesn't fit right. It stretches in places it shouldn't. Smiles pull too far back. The eyes blink too slowly, like they're still getting used to the idea of eyelids. And they don't need to be flawless. They just need you to hesitate, to wonder for a half second if maybe, just maybe, that is your friend coming toward you in the dusk. Because once you hesitate, you're within reach. The mimicry is worse when it's almost right. Your best friend steps into the firelight, but their clothes are wrong, like someone tried to describe them from memory. Or their hands hang limp until they notice you looking, and then they remember to move them. And by the time you realize the person you know is already behind you, the imitation has closed the gap with that too wide smile still welded to its face. Predatory luring. This isn't just follow the candy trail territory. This is apex level behavioral hacking. Skinwalkers don't chase you through the dark, they invite you in. They craft the bait out of whatever hooks deepest into your brainstem. For some, it's the sound of a crying child out in the tree line. For others, it's a familiar dog bark, a sibling's panicked voice, or even the faint metallic clang of something you think you dropped. And it's never random. The lure is personalized. If they've seen you before, they'll replay moments you didn't know they were watching. The way you called your pet, the exact rhythm you knock on a door, the tone you use when you're scared but trying to hide it. The trick is they don't overplay their hand. It's just enough to pull you off your path. Too much realism, and you'd get suspicious. Too little, and you wouldn't bite. But they calibrate it perfectly. Like a fisherman tugging a line just enough to make you think the hook isn't there. And once you step toward the sound, they don't have to lure anymore. You've crossed the line from safe to reachable. And every step deeper is you cooperating with your own disappearance. Inhuman speed. You can't outrun what doesn't follow the rules of running. Skinwalkers don't sprint like animals or humans. They telegraph slowness, and then without buildup, they're somewhere they shouldn't be. The classic account goes like this. You spot it at the edge of the field, too far to make out details, but you know it's looking at you. You blink, look again, and now it's halfway across the field, still in that same unnatural posture. No footfalls, no acceleration, just there. When they do move visibly, it's worse. Their limbs flail out like they've forgotten how bones work, bending too far in the wrong direction before snapping back into place. That's the trap. Your brain spends precious seconds trying to process the movement instead of reacting to it. And if they want you to know you're being hunted, they'll let you run first. You'll hear them behind you, steady, measured, until the sound stops. You think you've lost them. Then you look up, and they're ahead of you, blocking the path, smiling with a face they borrowed from someone you loved. Shapeshifting into animals. It's the party trick they're infamous for, but shapeshifting sounds too clean, too cinematic. This isn't a smooth CGI dissolve. This is anatomy throwing a tantrum. Bones stretching with sickening cracks, joints reversing, skin sliding over muscle like wet cloth. Feathers erupt where hair should be. The sound is worse than the sight, a kind of wet popping, punctuated by breaths that don't sound human or animal, just wrong. They don't turn into perfect creatures either. You get a wolf whose legs are a little too long, whose teeth don't quite fit its mouth, or a deer that moves like it's wearing someone else's body. The imperfection is the tell, the uncanny edge that makes your survival instincts scream. And the reason it works so well is because your brain wants to believe it's just an animal. You see coyote, and your fear response is calibrated for coyote speed, coyote aggression. But this thing's using the form like a stolen car, flooring it past what nature ever intended, doubling back when you think you've tracked it. Sometimes they blend forms, a fox's head on a man's torso, or a bird with human hands. Those are the ones that aren't hunting so much as flaunting. That's their way of saying, I can be anything, and none of it will save you. Supernatural endurance. This is the part that breaks you. You can hide from something fast. You can lose something clever. But how do you outrun something that doesn't get tired? Skinwalkers don't stop. They don't slow. They don't even breathe like they should. Hours after you've started running, when your lungs are bleeding and your knees are molten glass, they're still there. Not closer, not farther, just present. Watching, following, matching every step with the patience of an avalanche. And they want you to run. They know fatigue is their ally. Every stumble you take, every wrong turn you make in the dark, every drop of energy you burn thinking you're escaping is part of their hunt. They have no timetable. They could follow you for days, weeks, across seasons. The old stories say they can go without food, water, or sleep for as long as they need to finish the hunt. And you won't die cleanly. You'll die knowing that the only reason they didn't strike sooner is because they enjoyed the process. It's not just endurance, it's the weaponization of time. Against a skinwalker, time is not your friend. Time is the rope they use to lead you right where they want you. Control over animals. Not good with dogs control. Not knows how to herd sheep. I mean the kind of control that makes entire flocks pivot in unison like they're part of the same nervous system. Its nervous system. Skinwalkers don't just influence animals, they override them. You've heard the stories. The family dog suddenly starts growling at its owner, then bolts into the night and never comes back. Cattle stampede straight toward the tree line without a sound of panic, like they're being led. Birds roost on rooftops in dead silence, every head turning in the same direction at the same time. It's not flashy. You don't see glowing eyes or magical gestures. You just see the result. Living creatures behaving in ways no living creature should. It's like someone muted their individuality and replaced it with one shared alien directive. And the control isn't always about attack. Sometimes it's about surveillance. Imagine 100 crows perched just far enough away to make you uneasy, watching you like they're feeding your movements into some invisible predator's brain. People underestimate this trait because it's indirect. But if the skinwalker can command every animal in your vicinity, your escape routes aren't yours anymore. You're not fleeing through nature, you're fleeing against it. Cursed aura. It's not always about what they do. Sometimes it's about what they bring with them. The cursed aura isn't just bad vibes, it's a sickness in the air, the kind that makes electronics fail, headlights dim, and your breath catch for no physical reason. Step into it and you'll feel your skin tighten, like your body's trying to crawl away from itself. Sounds warp. Distant noises seem too close. Close noises seem to come from inside your head. Shadows cling too long. Even the temperature feels wrong, changing in unnatural jolts, a hot wind in freezing weather, or a sudden chill under summer heat. Animals pick it up instantly. Dogs hide. Horses refuse to move forward. Birds scatter and don't come back. But humans, we rationalize it. We tell ourselves it's just a storm coming in, or a fever, or nerves. That's exactly what the aura is for, to slow your instincts long enough for them to reach you. It's the invisible net they cast before the real strike. You never see it, You only feel it. And by the time you realize you've crossed into it, you've already been breathing their hunt into your lungs.